Welcome back, everybody, to World Class Nerd. This is your host, Bryan Lamb. I'm joined, as always, by Paul Davis. Say hi to the folks, Paul.
Hello.
And Danny Wade.
Hi, guys.
Tonight's show is a very special episode dedicated to the one guy on YouTube who has commented on our videos. Barry, you know who you are, and we appreciate you so much, Barry.
Barry, thank you. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for interacting with us. Any press is better than no press. Thank you.
That's right.
Yes. And just keep working on that English as a third language program, and maybe someday you'll get there. All right. It's World Class. We've got Wandavision to talk about, so we're going to jump right on into Wandavision. Wow, episode 8 of Wandavision. First and foremost, there's only one episode left, guys. One episode.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to this next one?
Yeah. I was operating under the mistaken assumption that there were 10 episodes in this season, but it's and wow. So we found out last episode that it's been Agatha all along, and this week we get to see Agatha really kind of get to be herself a little bit. Saw a flashback to sort of her origin story. At
Salem Witch Trials.
And that went a little bit than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
I was expecting
her powers fed upon others.
Yeah.
But they stayed pretty true to the character.
Yeah.
They've done real well.
I was just expecting, with it being the Salem Witch Trials, that, it would be like, regular folk accusing her of being a witch, but, she was actually being put on trial by other witches. That was pretty cool.
Her mother being one of them.
Yeah. And
that's got to be rough, but
yeah.
Well, just stand right there in that scene. Did you notice the crown that her mother was wearing?
I did. I didn't get the reference, but I did notice the crown.
Okay, that was the same. Well, it looked like the same crown that was worn in Atlantean. I forget what is it. I forget the character's name with Namor, but there was speculation that do you pull Namor into this later on down the road? Not in this series, but somewhere later on. But they made a point of showing that crown. It is the shape of that crown.
This isn't like anything to do with the King in Black tie-in of the Namor story, is it? Because
you're just seeing Namor standing off to the side, just looking.
Paul's gonna just absolutely lose it and throw something at the screen if we reference that.
No problem. I mean, it can be Namor. He'll stand off the side, and guess what? He won't do shit, just like he's done in the comics.
Yeah.
Well, maybe everybody else around him might. I mean, that could be a segue into maybe him popping up in the.
Oh, very well could be. I mean, anything's possible.
They're planting a lot of seeds, so yeah, it could be. So then we transitioned to just straight up Wanda versus Agatha, and that was intense. And she walked us through. Speaking of origin stories, she kind of walks us through Wanda's whole life in bits and pieces. Puts a lot more explanation behind all of the content there of the different eras of the sitcoms and all that, because she watched those shows with the rest of her family to try to learn English. And my, what a horrifically sad scenario that was when she lost her parents.
Oh, wow.
Sudden explosion in the middle of the Civil War.
Had to watch all that over again, too.
Yeah. A lot of trauma, and I mean, they even referenced that. I think Agatha was the one who said it. There's a lot of trauma in her life, and that all leads to the moment where she, created all this in Westview. And did you guys catch this right away? That when she shows the reality of what happened with Vision and her going to Sword to see Vision and to get Vision's body, that it didn't match the story that was told by Sword, right?
No, I noticed that. Yeah, it didn't. The story by Sword was obviously edited, and it was showing her as going in, guns blazing, and stealing the body.
Yeah, she didn't take the body at all.
Mm-mm.
Right.
So she created more or less a new Vision there in Westview.
And wasn't there a couple of those instances where she kind of done that? It's like we saw one thing, but when it was retold, it was a little
bit different. Yeah,
a little bit different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously kind of sets up things with Hayward definitely being someone who's playing his own agenda. When it showed that whole sequence with him and Wanda, he was clearly baiting her into this, right? He wanted her, actually, I think, to reanimate Vision. I think
because he has no success at it.
Yeah.
He wanted it to happen so she'd do the work for him because he couldn't.
Yep.
Sword could not put him back together and make him animate.
Yeah. It's not just that the guy's cold and not compassionate. When you take her over to the window and show her, her love's body being cut into pieces, you're doing that for a reason. You're prompting a reaction. So he's a bad guy, and
there's more to him. Who is he really? I don't think he's who he's showing right now.
There's been a lot of hints and drops about Hydra in the commercials. He could be a leftover remnant of Hydra. Hydra's kind of out of the scene right now, but they're not gone.
Or could that be the Mephisto?
Oh, well, yeah.
Could be. I'm still on the fence about Mephisto. If Mephisto shows up, I'm happy that Mephisto showed up. I just don't think they're ready to drop Mephisto into the Marvel Cinematic Universe quite.
That's a lot to deal with in one episode.
If they ever
but that's something different.
If they ever reboot Ghost Rider in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that would be a perfect time to drop Mephisto in there.
Yes.
And once he's let loose, then he can interact with all the other storylines and characters.
Yep, anybody and everybody at that point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they could do it now. They've taken this show in a different direction than I thought they would. I really didn't know how they were going to take it. I'll just be honest. It was completely new territory to me. I had no preconceived expectations about it at all. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. Show is wildly popular, and this formula clearly is working. So, it was interesting. I figured this was a standalone. This was a one-off, and that would be it. But there's been some hints that they might do a second series of this in the future at some point.
Well, let's see how this ends. And it very well could be open to more Wanda and Vision adventures. I read it somewhere, I think it was on Twitter, that the next phase of Cinematic Universe is supposed to really be heavy on Wanda, centered around her and her magic.
Yeah, this series leads directly into Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be heavily featured in the Doctor Strange movie. And there's been conversations also with the folks who are making the Spider-Man movie, which we now know is called No Way Home. And it's going to be a multiverse movie, and they've had conversations with them as well about how this plays out, so they can plan accordingly with the production of that movie. So this is going to spin off into a lot of different things. It's going to inform a lot of what happens in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And let me say this. I'm going to briefly be controversial and rant just a little bit here. Not something I typically do on WandaVision, but because there's so much nonsense going on right now around the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie. Let me just be brutally honest with everybody out there. The DC Cinematic Universe and the DC Television Universe and everybody who's involved with those are children playing with Lego blocks. While the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Marvel Television Universe are artists painting on a canvas, bringing tears to people's eyes. Okay, this is truly exceptional storytelling. And the DC Universe, and it pains me to say this, but the DC Cinematic Universe and the DC Television Universe, it's childish. It's nonsense. It's just garbage, to be quite honest, in comparison, right? There have been some good films. Aquaman was exceptional. The first Wonder Woman movie was pretty spectacular. Shazam was good. But there's been some really bad movies, and there's been some horrific television to come out of the DC universe. And to compare these things at all, you can't. You can't compare them. They're not on the same playing field at all. And Marvel is going to take the thing that DC invented first and played with the hardest and the longest, the multiverse. And they're going to do it 100 times, maybe 1,000 times better than DC has done it. And they're going to make DC look like fools when they come out with the Flash movie and try to go multiverse crazy. Because Marvel's already done it much better than they ever could. That's the state of this thing. I have to get that off my chest because I've seen so much conversation about the Snyder Cut. Your Snyder Cut doesn't matter a hill of beans. Take your Snyder Cut and show it to the other goth kids who want to watch Darkness and Shadows all day. Meanwhile, the rest of us will watch some really quality television and movies made from the Marvel Universe. Rant over.
Yeah. Agree.
I mean, I'm a DC guy, have been most of my life, but I'm also a Marvel guy. And Marvel is just doing it better right now.
Well, I'm a Marvel guy that tried to go over to DC a little bit and did go over to DC, but here lately, I can't. I just can't.
When it comes to comics, TV, and cinematic, DC is playing second and third fiddle to Marvel and actually Image in ways. Image is about to come out with some new animated stuff that's going to blow away the DC stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to WandaVision. I've derailed us mightily there, but you know it's a fantastic show and it deserves the accolades. Agatha Harkness, Paul, you said a lot about the performance of Agatha. So
I'd like to read you the text I sent you guys yesterday because that's exactly how I feel. Elizabeth Shepard, the actress that plays Agatha Harkness, to me has been a cute and very quirky background character in just about everything I've seen her in. But this role as a villain is showcasing her acting range. All the stars of this show have shown that their acting abilities are far up and beyond what we've seen before. Elizabeth has taken this role to her acting ability to a whole new level. She's always been quirky. You saw her in the first few episodes of WandaVision, and she's a great background character with a booming voice and a quirky mannerisms. But when she flips the switch and becomes Agatha, you feel the evil. You see the evil. There's a twinkle and a smile about her, a twinkle and a smile on her face that just is evil, and she's enjoying it. That's an actress that's having a good time with her role, and it's showing.
Man, I would say they're all on a different level because of the material that they've been given to work with here. Paul Bettany has just been phenomenal as Vision, and Elizabeth Olsen has been killing it as Wanda as well, showing a lot of range and a lot of nuance in her performance. These guys have, when you give somebody really solid material to work with, that's what happens, right? They've run the gamut from basically every emotion and every style of acting you can throw out there.
Well, I think Catherine Hahn is a great Magnus. Mm-hmm. She's doing great. She's got the emotion range. Like you say, she's got just enough of the quirkiness to kind of make you think that's what she is, but she's powerful, man. And she kind of throws you off balance a little bit. So I think she's doing great.
Yeah, I gotta figure that we've not seen the last of Agatha Harkness after this, and interesting, knowing the Spidey mythos as you do, Danny. You think that's the next place she might turn up? Does she make some sort of appearance in No Way Home?
Well, I mean, she fits perfectly into any kind of Doctor Strange that's going to happen. And yes, I think there for a long time, she was a staple in the Spider-Man universe. And she very well could.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in that movie. I don't know if you could really throw her in there yet.
She may not yet, yeah.
Because, I mean, the rumor is you've got all three Spider-Man actors. You've got, Doc Ock is confirmed, he's in it. You got Jamie Foxx's Electro is confirmed in it.
So it's a dream sequence movie.
Charlie Cox as Daredevil is confirmed to be in it. We just don't know if he's going to be. Don't know if he's going to be the Daredevil of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or is there going to be a different? Who knows? But I get this. It's all multiverse stuff, so who knows? Maybe she does.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Danny, thank you for correcting me. I was just looking. Elizabeth Shepard, who I said was Agatha Harkness. Yeah, that's definitely not the actress. That's a lovely older lady who I've never seen in anything in anywhere, shape, form, or fashion. So
Catherine Hahn. That's you. Catherine Hahn.
Oops, sorry, folks. Wrong again. That would be me. The sentiment stands. Wrong actress. But thank you, Danny.
For those who were writing Elizabeth fan letters based on Paul's recommendation, don't get them back.
Well, I don't think no, because I don't think Elizabeth's alive anymore.
Oh, well.
Well, she was 84.
I don't get an answer back.
Her spouse died in 62, so she's single, folks. If she's still around, I'm not. If she is, please write her in whatever rest home she's at, folks. Because I really 84 years old. Yeah.
And then please ask her what part does she play.
Yeah, because
you can soon write to Paul Davis in whatever rest home he's going to be in.
But she's still active as an actress. It says.
Oh well, good for her.
Good for her.
She's in London, so God bless you, Elizabeth. Carry on.
May she never see this YouTube video.
Oh, please! I hope you don't. I'm so sorry, ma'am.
Hey guys, this is why Barry said what he said. Okay, this is why Barry said what he said.
Right here. Yeah, I'm the reason. I had no brain well. You're right, no brain well.
I don't think it's the last time we're going to see Vision or a form of Vision.
No. I'm wondering what we're going to see next episode. Are we seeing Vision versus Vision? Is that what's going to happen?
Ooh, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep. I think
That's pretty cool, right? Because you got Agatha and Wanda, which make perfect villains for each other. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Vision versus Vision.
Yep.
What does that leave for Monica Rambeau to do, though?
Well, fighting two Visions, that might be pretty hard. I mean,
Especially if the white Vision, the pale white Vision, is completely no emotions, no feeling, which would be
I don't think he's going. I think it's going to be straight comic book white Vision.
Yeah, which means he'll be a robotic. He could be a robotic killing machine.
Yeah.
In the comics, I don't believe he was a killing machine, but he didn't have any.
No emotions, no ties to anything.
Yeah.
But will he stay that way? This could be an opportunity for Vision to come back.
I predict that this is just my prediction, that Wanda has brought a soul of Vision back with magic, and now the body has been brought back, and they will merge. That's just my prediction.
I think you're 100% correct. Those two will join together. Yep.
Which is groovy for me. I like Vision.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but when I was about 5 years old, I had a yellow blanket that was one of my capes because I wanted to be Vision. And I would get on my bicycle and I would put the yellow blanket cape on and I would go zipping down my hill as fast as I could so the cape would fly behind me.
Yeah.
That's when I learned a harsh reality, folks, that cape versus spokes of bicycle equals almost decapitated Paul.
I had the red cape. I had the red cape on my little tricycle going down the big dirt mound. I was the Superman wannabe at 5, but yeah, Vision.
Well, actually, it almost took my head off and flipped me over in the concrete. Is why I became a Captain Marvel Shazam fan. His cape only goes down to his waist.
It's safer, right?
It's safer.
Oh man!
True story, folks. True story.
Not because Captain Marvel's a great character and he loves all that he stands for. And,
oh, absolutely. But the cape was the first thing.
Because of the cape. That's it.
That was the first thing.
It was. I hope it was some way OSHA friendly or safety yellow.
Nothing I did as a child was OSHA friendly.
Was there even an OSHA back then? I don't know if we even had it.
I don't know if we did.
I think that's why we created OSHA.
We might have been the reason why it was created.
What else we got in that episode? It was.
Let's see. They still are we still up in the air if the kids are actually real or are they?
Kinda. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm still not for sure.
Yeah, I'm not ready to commit one way or the other at this point. No. Because Agatha is tormenting her with them, but that doesn't mean that they're there.
Right. And they announced her to be the Witch of Legend, the Scarlet Witch, the witch that can use chaos magic and basically create matter. So in that scenario, she created Vision. She created her children too, and they could be around.
Which is what Wanda was to begin with in the comic book. Chaotic magic.
She utilized chaos magic or chaos energy.
But if the kids are real, they've got powers. What are they going to become?
No, there's a bigger question here. If she created them, and it's not something from Agatha, if she created them, well, she created the Vision too. And we saw what happened when Vision tried to exist outside of the protective dome of Westview.
Yeah.
When the dome goes down, do the kids go away too? Yeah.
Is that ultimately what undoes the children and sets her on some other path.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
He might be the great villain of the next stage of Marvel. If not a villain, she might cause a crisis, for lack of a better word, that sets off the next phase.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see if she's part of the Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange coming in and trying to be her guide, basically, whoa, what have you been doing? You're untrained. You need to be reeled in. And as a Sorcerer Supreme, he tries to train her, or at least reel her in.
So I'm like 95% sure that Doctor Strange shows up in the next episode. What do you
That'd
think?
be cool.
Huh.
That'd be cool.
I mean, Elizabeth Olsen already said there's a huge cameo in this season that's on the level of the Luke Skywalker cameo in Mandalorian. I just don't believe fake Pietro was that cameo.
No, and
No.
well, I may be biased. I love Doctor Strange, but is he Luke Skywalker cameo? He's big, but
No. Look, let's be honest. Unless Luke Skywalker shows up, there is no Luke Skywalker level cameo.
now if an X-wing lands in Westview and Grogu gets out and wants Huggies and Chicky Nuggies, now that is big.
I guess Tony Stark is the only cameo of that level to me, and that's So,
certainly not the White Vision. That's not the.
So the big cameo hasn't happened yet. I think she's wrong about the magnitude of it, but I think she's right that that there is still a big cameo to come, and I think it's going to be Doctor Strange, and that's how it's going to lead directly into the next Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah,
I fully expect
Even
him
that, or
maybe he
Reed
can help
Richards
contain the kids so they don't dissolve away and die.
disappear. Yeah,
maybe.
or maybe Reed Richards shows up and sciences that crap and takes care of them kids.
I'd be all right with that too.
I would be too. That would be almost Luke Skywalker big in the fact that he's not even in the Marvel universe yet.
It would be. It'd be very big to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'd be totally down with that. It's going to be coming sooner or later. They've got to start dropping hints. If it's going to be coming out in movie form by maybe 2022, they got to start dropping hints and planting seeds now for those guys. So,
yeah.
So the episode ends with Agatha going full blown comic book villain right down to costume, which is cool.
Love the purple magical energy. That just looks cool too.
Yes. Yeah. And you brought this up earlier, Paul, before we started the show, that now we're doing post-credit scenes.
Every time.
What?
Was it the 7th or 8th episode before they did the first one?
Yep.
And did you know that we no longer have the police stand by anymore at the end?
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah.
That, okay, all the past stuff, all the old 50, 60, 70 stuff, that's over. Now we're
Right present.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a dangerous thing to suddenly start introducing the post-credits scene this late in the game. Like, how many people just missed it? Yeah. And then got it spoiled for them by somebody talking about it on Twitter, and they're like, are you... Okay.
Are you kidding me? How did I miss that?
I checked it every week for 6 weeks, and now you do it?
Tons of bitches.
So yeah, next week's got to wrap it up, and that's going to be
big.
Have to be a big episode.
And then what are we going to talk about?
Well, then I'll go marathon it all over again, back to back.
Yeah.
No, then we get like a week or two to rest and catch our breath before Falcon and Winter Soldier starts. So,
and at some point, the Bad Batch starts too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the Bad Batch is geared more towards maybe summer.
Okay.
So I think we got a little bit to wait on that, but there's going to be back-to-back Marvel shows in the meantime. So
Didn't hurt my feelings.
Not a bit. They've been really good so far. So at this point, guys, let's grab a quick break and have a word from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about Resident Alien. And
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot to be talked about there. So we'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back, folks. We're recovering from our long discussion about WandaVision, and now I think we're ready to talk about Resident Alien. See, I caught myself there, guys. I was just about to say Resident Evil. That's a video game. That is not what this show is, but I want to do it every time.
It could be a little.
You had a cinematic thing. They had movies. It's okay.
So I think the last time we talked, we ended it with episode 3. I don't think we talked about episode 4 at all yet. So we can talk about episode 4 and episode 5 now on this episode. And I liked both of those a lot, actually. Episode 4 brought the revelation to the public. Not to the public. The public knew from the previous episode.
But to the family.
Yeah, but it brought it to the family themselves that Jay is her daughter. Talking about the nurse, and of course it was Harry who just blurts it out right in the middle of the.
Yeah.
And we got to see Harry the b-baller, which was quite entertaining, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I can imagine him in real life playing like that.
He played probably about like I would play today if I were to try to pick up basketball again after my years of retirement.
He'd play better than me, I guarantee you.
He wasn't impressive. That was kind of cool, though. I mean, it's funny because this show is like over the top with his humor, but at the same time, every episode there's these little steps that are taken towards him embracing humanity and what humanity is and what humanity does. And it's a strange contrast that happens all in the same show, where there's just this absurd over the top humor in 1 minute, and then him starting to walk towards an understanding of what it is to be human at the same time. It's interesting.
It's actually well written to me to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Convey it,
Yeah. And it becomes more of a natural fit with every episode. The longer the show goes, the easier it is, I think, for that to be just the way the show is.
Mm-hmm.
The big revelation to the audience at the end of episode 4 being that he not alien Harry, but actual Harry, who is dead and frozen in the freezer has a wife. And we learn this just after he's had a touching moment where he talks about his dead wife, alien Harry's dead wife,
Yep.
out there among the stars. So, wow.
Yeah. Look who shows up.
And who won't leave? No matter what he tries, he won't leave.
This is going to be a fun dynamic, I think. I've heard been there now.
So, first of all, kudos to them for casting an actual elf to play her. I wasn't sure at first, is she a Vulcan or is she an elf? Because the ears sticking out with the little kind of bowl cut haircut. It was like, wow, she's either an elf or an actual pixie. I don't know.
Well, she's cute as could be.
Yeah, absolutely. And
a little quirky too. So she kind of works in here.
She's got to be quirky because everybody else in this cast is quirky.
Right. Man, when she's at the bar talking with the owner of the bar, and they're talking about the men.
Yeah. Well, let's back up to episode 4 when Harry invites Darcy to go with him to dinner at the mayor's house to, interact with the kid, and she just gets absolutely sloshed. And hey, sudden revelation, we dated, me and the mayor, we dated in high school.
Off and on for quite a few years,
got later and later in that timeline.
Yeah.
A little more handsy too.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it with my wife, and I'm looking at her reaction, and she's taking the side of the wife. I'm like, oh God, this guy's dead, and I'm going to get dead just because my wife's getting mad at this guy.
Well, yeah, it's just because you're a guy and you're a husband, and that's, if one does it, then we're all likely to.
We're all going to do it at some point.
In their eyes. So yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good comedy there. That she just got more and more drunk and got more and more ridiculous as that whole thing went on, and again walks away from it completely oblivious to how people actually felt about that exchange. Mm-hmm. Right? That's one of the really hilarious things about her character, is she's completely not self-aware at all.
No.
And she shares one of the greatest on-scene kisses with Harry I've ever seen.
Yes.
Well, on her part, maybe.
I love that's who that character is, that she can walk away from that and go, it's not the worst kiss I've ever had.
It's not the worst.
I mean, really, this cast is so bizarre that, I mean, you got to love like all of them. I love every character on the show.
This show works in drama and comedy so great together, so smooth together.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the only character I don't like is the ex-boyfriend.
Well, yeah, he's made to not like. He's made to be your stereotypical evil ex that lays hands upon a woman, kids, you name it. He's just a bad dude.
But I like the way Harry interacts with him. He's got that intimidation that he has on nobody else.
Yep. Like a ninja.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, that was great.
Are you your bodyguard? No, I prefer ninja.
All of a sudden he's at a different booth.
Yeah.
Like a ninja.
Hello, my name's Harry. I don't believe we've actually met. Well, we briefly met.
So the other big thing from episode 4, which was packed with a lot of stuff, was that, the kids, Max and I can't remember her name, show up. They concoct the scheme to make a copy of Harry's keys, and then they go to his house when he's not there, and they go into the basement and they find the orb thing.
Yeah.
I really like that Max has a friend now. I mean, he did seem kind of lonely, and he needed a friend, somebody to believe him.
Yeah,
and she seems to be the brains of the outfit, because she's the one that's helping, make things happen. And those two kids' interaction with the sheriff on episode 4, when he pulls them over, pulls them to ride the bicycle.
Yeah, and he wasn't messing around. I mean, he was serious. This wasn't like a haha, let me have a life lesson moment with these kids. He was serious.
You know why I pulled you over? Because you're bored. Oh, you forgot to use the hand signal back there. It was awesome.
I think the kids are going to be Harry's allies a little bit, but probably in a bad way, I'm thinking. It's going to be more mischief than anything.
Yeah. There's a lot here. There's a whole lot to unpack, and it's surprising that there's so much to unpack from what seems like a throwaway comedy show, but it's really not.
No, it's deep.
because we're sitting here talking about how hilarious the scene with the sheriff is, and then things with the sheriff take a little bit of a more serious turn in the next episode.
Yeah, it's
As you
really
see him caring for his father, who is not easy to care for.
I think he's might even be dying, maybe.
Yeah, I got signs of dementia, and as somebody who's had a parent that's had dementia, they get different and knock themselves and even mean towards the end to their loved ones, and it's that bothered me, that scene, because I saw some real life stuff, and the sheriff came back there. It seems like to that town to get his father away from as much stress and aggravation as possible, where he could take care of him more, because it is a sleepy little town.
Yep. You can see that he's doing everything out of love for his father, and he's really struggling with this, and that's a whole different angle to this guy, because up until this point he's just been a cartoonish character, and now all of a sudden you have to look at him through a different lens. It's
like, is he cartoonish just because he wants to be? Is kind of a cover up for the pain he's in for having to care for his father who's dying. Yeah.
By the way, the deputy is that like Melissa McCarthy's clone, or is that Melissa McCarthy's like sister, or what? Because
oh my goodness, she's so funny.
Yeah, she's hilarious, but
very backward.
Very much just Melissa McCarthy all over again. But yeah, I got a feeling we're going to see more about her, like a little more in-depth look at her in the episode as well.
I think she's going to wind up catching on.
I think so. I think she really is.
She's on the track.
Yeah, I predict that she catches on, but she's good with it because he helps the town as the doctor.
Or maybe, she shoots him and kills him, and the show goes off on a completely different tangent for 8 seasons. Who knows?
Oh, it could be.
And you just never know with this thing. So the fallout from Max and touching the orb is that he took him home, and then Max has no real memory loss. But his partner in crime does. So he once again is claiming that Harry is an alien, and nobody believes him again. And Harry manipulates that all to get the parents considering sending him off to some special school because he
boarding school in Georgia, which is about as far away from Colorado as you can get.
Yeah, because of terrorphobia. And
yes, terrorphobia.
Yeah, I think I've had some of that every once in a while, some terrorphobia. So the interesting thing there is that with that little storyline, by the end of the episode, they're friends. Like they've completely reconciled. They've called a truce, and then they're starting to laugh and cut up. But
I just love it. What, do you probe anybody? Oh, that's those grays. They're the ones that probing fetish.
Which Paul was quickly checking his encyclopedia of alien types, and he's like, "Yeah, it's true. It is the great.
It is. They're from the Zeta Reticuli system, supposedly."
So then the Jay storyline kind of plays out again in this one with she finds out now. So that all happened quickly, right? I thought they would tease that out for the majority of the season in all of its various stages, but very quickly everybody now knows where this lands and what happened. And tough because she's being really hard on her actual her birth mother over this, but you got that cool moment with her and the granddad at the diner, and
where she extorts him for pie. Yep.
Oh yeah, but you can see he's happy to do it though. So
absolutely.
That was a cool little turn there. And And then you have the whole interplay with the wife of the actual Harry Vanderspiegel, and
This is great. I like this.
There was a point there where I was really feeling bad for the actual Harry Vanderspiegel.
Mm-hmm.
But then at some point you get lost in it again, and you just get carried along in his wake and forget that even happened.
We're divorced. Why won't she go away?
I have paperwork to prove it.
Paperwork.
I literally have it in writing.
I think my favorite line, and I've already said it to you guys off the air, was when she lays down on the couch with him. He's like, "Why is she doing? This is uncomfortable. I cannot sleep. Oh, this is nice. It's like a hot ham on my back."
You could do the dishes and then go.
He's always, you can do the dishes and go. Will you clean the kitchen and go?
There was a lot of great one-liners in this one.
It's like, and after all that, she's fallen in love with him again.
Yeah.
Well, but I got to be honest. When she sang the song, I was like him. I was ready to commit to a long-term relationship with her because
It was beautiful.
Sequence that was.
That was good. Yeah.
Amazing voice. The perfect song as well.
That's the fairy magic she brought to this.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a little sprinkling of fairy dust there that she used that we didn't see.
There's one scene I want to go back to. We hadn't talked about it, but when the two government agents are looking for the aliens, and they're like at the gas station in the RV, like, this alien's not just going to come right and present himself. He's right in front of
Right across in front of them.
And the whole super awkward bathroom scene where they're standing at the urinals, and Harry looks at the guy and says, "Do you ever get chills when you do it?" And then just, whoa.
There's times when his alienness, like, I shake my head and I go, "There's no way that people wouldn't think he was just the most bizarre person on earth if they interacted with him." And then I look at a scene like that and I go, I've had some weird ass people come into the bathroom and
just stand next. There's 5 urinals on either side, and they stand right next to you, and they want to be Chatty Cathy all of a sudden.
Yeah,
there's rules.
Man.
There are rules. We have to.
One stall space between. Come on.
What else was in episode 5? There's more. I know there's more. So Darcy and the wife have this bonding moment at the bar over literally the same guy and their man troubles that are him. And then she shows up and sees them having the dance, and
he goes to tie one on at that point.
Yeah.
Well, she sets the champagne down in the snow, and then comes back.
Her life is kind of tragic when she was talking about
staying a couple
nights at the bar, and then it shows her staying a couple nights at the bar.
Wanting somebody so bad. I don't think she really cares who it is.
Yeah.
She wants somebody to be her friend and love her.
Yeah.
And that, I guess this was in episode 4 too. Episode 4 had like all the big events. Like, it was just packed with stuff. I think that was the episode where she had the big conversation about her Olympic injury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, skier.
The deputy is talking to her, telling her, no, you're the biggest thing that ever happened in this town. Everybody was watching you during that. And, that's, again, you have this little serious glimpse into her backstory, and it's contrasted with this cartoony behavior, but there's more.
You can tell she's right on the edge, emotional.
Yeah.
That she could go either way at any time.
Yeah.
We also get the reveal of how Harry and his wife met in the
the real Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. Yeah, that was romantic,
Yeah.
And you kind of say, well, she's an artist. She's can be a little quirky too. So
Yeah. Well, that was the point where I was starting to feel sorry for the actual Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel, because I'm like, here's this kind of really sweet romance that, this seemed like a good guy. And then, he's been brutally murdered by this alien, and his body's dumped in the freezer, and his wife shows up and doesn't even know it's not him. But
yeah, 'cause I really thought the real Harry was going to be just this jerk or something.
But he turns out
that was how he's going to start out. But no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
But he still had the painting.
Yeah.
In his bedroom.
Still had the pain. I think that's what won her over.
Yeah. Yeah. Some day down the road, this is all got to be dealt with, right?
The secret in the freezer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
does she find out and go along with it? And does she get desperate enough to where it's like, no, maybe he's a little quirky now, maybe he is an alien now, but no, do you think she sticks around?
I see that. Maybe she does, but my mind can't reconcile that. Right? I couldn't reconcile that if that were reality.
I see Harry and his nurse having a relationship more than Harry and his the human's wife.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at some point something happens there. I don't know if she'll ever. Maybe she ends up as a casualty of the FBI agents or something. I don't think she's a long-term fixture on the show. Just thinking. Could be wrong. I just don't know how you could ever reconcile that. You can't really put those two together and have them continue a relationship.
Not if they know the truth. I mean, that's just
no human would be able to just say,
"Oh well, whatever."
Say, okay, you're an alien. That's fine. You could probably go that far, right?
Right.
I mean, we suspend our disbelief with things like Vision and Martian Manhunter and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. It's I'm an alien, and your actual husband, I killed him, and his body is down in the freezer.
You know the steak that you found? Yeah, if you dug a little deeper.
Right.
There's no coming back from that.
I guess not.
By the way, which one of you guys, when we talked about it a few weeks ago, which one of you guys was on the side of they were FBI agents?
Who was FBI?
I think it was me, but I don't know.
Two actual FBI agents, because I think I was absolutely on board with they were aliens.
I was that way too.
Okay, yeah. Me and you were the aliens, and Paul was they were the FBI guys. And
I was thinking Men in Black, honestly.
That's yeah.
Okay.
So that's 100 points for you, Paul. 100 nerd points for Paul Davis for correctly guessing they were agents. However, I will have to deduct 20,000 nerd points from you for using the completely wrong name of the actress to play Agatha Harkness. So
all I gotta say is I believe Google, and Google did me wrong. Don't fact check me.
You win some, you lose some, Paul.
Oh, I lost that one. Oh yeah.
So does anybody know how many episodes there's going to be of this show this season?
Honestly, I don't.
Danny, research that. Fact checker guy.
Well, I will try to find that.
I really hope this show doesn't get canceled.
Fox, that's a bad thing. They never cancel a good show, do they?
It has Wash in it, so.
Wait, no, it's on Sci-Fi, right?
Oh. Yeah, it's on Sci-Fi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was. Never mind. I've been watching it online, so I haven't even paid attention to what actually channel it's on. my mistake. Again.
Yeah. So you lost 100 more points.
I'm just going to be quiet. Everything I say is wrong.
Get away from Google.
I mean, yeah, sci-fi sometimes keeps things around a little longer than network television, so maybe it's got a shot. I can't remember his previous show, Powerless, that was based in the DC universe. That was a comedy. Was that also on Sci-Fi?
Oh, I don't even remember that show.
What was the name of it?
Last time I saw him was Doom Patrol.
He was the lead on a show called Powerless, and it was set in the DC universe. He was like a cousin of Bruce Wayne.
Yes. There was just like a couple of episodes, wasn't there, or something like that?
Yeah, no, there weren't even many of them that aired before they.
It was actually pretty good.
I liked it a lot. Yeah,
I forget where that was at.
They had, he had a whole corporation where they made like gizmos for superheroes, and they had the whole R&D division. They were testing all this stuff, and it was terrible, terrible stuff. But they brought in, like, I know you and I like the C and D list characters. They brought in like the F list characters, like Crimson Fox.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You should look that up if I mean, you in particular.
JLA Europe.
Yeah.
That's wow. Crimson Fox.
You in particular should look that show up, because you'll probably be bitter after you watch it and mad that it got canceled, because it was.
I didn't even know about it.
Unfortunately, I knew it was coming, got hyped up for it, watched a few episodes of it that they showed, enjoyed it, and then they almost immediately gone.
See, I remember him in the first season of Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I haven't watched the second season yet. I just hadn't taken time to watch it yet.
I haven't either. I think they've hinted pretty strongly that he'll probably be back in season 3, if he's not in season 2 as well. Alan Tudyk is doing a brilliant job in this role, and again, I hope it lasts for a few seasons.
I hope it does too.
There's a lot they're doing with these characters, and I feel like there's a lot more to be done, because we haven't seen anything really about his planet yet at all.
And we haven't seen. Nobody's come that we know of has come looking for him yet. Because they should be expecting a big boom, because he was supposed to blow something up.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be maybe the end of season 1 and the big setup for season 2, maybe. But I hope we get to see that.
Oh, that might be how they get rid of the wife. Alien shows up, kills her, takes her place, and all of a sudden his ex-wife or wife is an alien that's giving him crap.
Or, maybe they take her back to his planet.
As a hostage, yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. All I know is that there's at least 7. So if anybody out there knows that answer, let us know.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find it anywhere.
It feels like it's going to be maybe a 13 episode kind of series, but
well, I hope so, and I hope it continues on, because it's funny.
Oh yeah.
I honestly wouldn't have given it much of a try, but your wife suggested we watch it for this show, and man, I'm glad she did.
Oh man,
Yeah, I think the thought on Heather's part was let's grab something else that's out in the here and now, so we can try to stay, for lack of a better word, topical with it, and I'm glad we gave it a shot, because it's been very entertaining.
It's gotten better. It's one of those shows that's gotten better each week.
Yeah, it's grown on me. It grows on you even more.
It does. I was a little unsure after after episode 3. Like, I don't know, but then 4 and 5 have been really strong episodes, and I care more about the drama than I expected to, honestly.
Yeah, and I care more about the characters, all of them, than I expected to.
I think episode 1 was kind of like I'm trying to figure out what's going on here as far as, okay, is this a drama comedy or is this a comedy drama? You know, how
Dramedy.
drama. And I think I started picking up after episode 2. I was getting the hang of it. It's like, oh, okay. And then from 2 on, it's been great.
Well, let's hope it sticks around. You know, anybody who's still listening to the show this late in the show, if you've not watched it, I don't know why you're listening this deep into the show, but
please watch it. It's funny. It's really good. You will enjoy it.
Yeah. Join us in watching this show, and we're going to talk about it, you know, until it's over as well. And, you know, WandaVision, we got one more WandaVision in us, and then we're moving on. So maybe Resident Alien will be our headliner for the couple of weeks after that. I don't know. There's not a ton of stuff out there, although just something for everybody to ponder. There is a show starting on Monday night called Debris.
Oh, I saw the previews for that. That looks interesting. Yeah.
That could be something that we need to be talking about as World Class Nerd moving forward. So,
you know, there was a show on USA, I think it was called The Division. It was where the aliens, maybe not The Division, I'm sorry, but they dropped walls in the United States and walled off large portions of cities. And it was basically, they had different districts and stuff. And it had the Sawyer character from Lost as the main character.
Yeah.
That show, golly, this show reminds me of that, in the fact that it's alien debris that's hitting the earth and affecting the environment. And I can see myself getting really, really involved in it for about 2 seasons, and they cliffhanger it and never show any more of it.
I really hope that's not the case, because I expect I'm going to really enjoy the show. It's by the same people who made Fringe, and I absolutely loved Fringe. So, you know, they're just being right up front with you. This is going to be a show that has a mystery that plays out slowly over time. And
what do you know what channel it's airing on by any chance?
I think it's on NBC.
Okay. Gotta make sure it doesn't conflict with anything else I'm recording.
Right.
See, I have WWE that night, so I'll be watching that. Yeah. Bob's Burgers comes on at 10, so I can't miss that.
My Little Ponies season 5.
No, I got that recorded earlier.
All right, so next week we'll be back to talk about the grand finale of WandaVision. We're going to talk more Resident Alien, and we might even talk a little bit about Debris. So next week's going to be a big show. Come back, join us. Danny will bring snacks. Paul will bring jokes.
We'll share them, but he'll bring snacks.
Yeah. It'll be a good time. And Barry, let us know what you think, buddy. All right, guys, we're out of time. That's it for our show tonight. Paul Davis, tell him goodbye.
Goodbye, Paul Davis.
Anyway. All right, until next time, this is the crew from World Class Nerds signing off.